It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm your host, Runny Nose B-Ron, and this morning my co-host is Yells. Good morning, man. How you doing? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. No runny nose yells here. It is sore throat yells, but whatever, man.
Oh man, look, we are getting through. Starting off the week a little bit sickly, but
Hey,
look,
like
we
we
gonna
said,
get through it.
we're gonna start our Mondays with movie quotes though. So right, so I mean we are sick, but we gonna make it do what it do, baby. In the comments, if you know what it is, everybody should know what it is. All right, what we
I
got
am not
going?
a movie guy, so these are all like, oh man, to me. Anyway, not important. Now to talk about me. We're to talk about what's going on in SimWorld. So of course, let's start with the big news from over the weekend. Jafet Towns committing to Mizzou and going to the Tigers. Man, this is a huge get for the Tigers. Normally, of their caliber wouldn't get a kid like Jafet. That's not that's just the facts of the matter, yells. Usually he'd be going to a Kansas, a Duke, a you know what I mean.
Yeah,
He's going to one of those schools.
I'm
He's gonna go to a
flabbergasted.
Missouri.
I'm flabbergasted. It's ridiculous. And anyone else that shares this sentiment should, they feel the same way. They rightfully feel the same way. That's no knock to Mizzou. It's just odd. It's just odd,
Yeah.
man. The kid is
Hmm.
an absolute stud. Look, in
Hmm.
SimWorld Prep, let's put it out there. Make sure that we're qualifying our statements. SimWorld Prep is the elite prep basketball league out there. There's not one. You got your different academies, you got your schools where everybody combines. There's lots of AAU leagues, but SimWorld Prep is creme de la creme. All the top talent comes here. That's where you see some of them come here and they don't look as great as they did at their high school, or they don't look as great as they did at their AAU league or whatever. But they come here and they showcase it. Jafet Towns has been
Right.
here for a
Exactly.
few seasons, getting off in a major way, and this season just going bonkers, even to a greater level than he did last season. 27 points a game, close to 28. We're talking CKC levels. 4 assists a game. He's only turning the rock over once. He gets to his spot. He gets what he wants. He like Booker T, he gets what he wants because he takes what he wants. Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyhow. I'm not gonna finish
Coming for
that one up.
you,
Yeah, you can cut it
Tigers
right there.
player.
Cut it right there.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", 215. That's a pro build already. And he's going to Mizzou like the whole world wasn't checking for him. I'm flabbergasted.
I am too, man. I am too. And now that he's committed to Mizzou and everything, now the conversation flips to you know if you're a cynic, you could say, oh, he's gonna phone in the rest of the season. He's already committed to Missouri. He doesn't need to play anymore. Blah blah all that stuff. But let's not go that way. Let's go another direction, and let's talk about his future when it comes to the SWBA. Is he one and done for Mizzou? Is he a lottery pick? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and then you could even look. You could, and then if you want to, we can turn it around and go back to you know currently and his teams here in Simple Prep and his legacy here in Simple Prep as well. Um, so let's start first with that future in the SWBA lottery pick discussion. Let's start there. We can work our way forwards.
So we're starting with him getting drafted, you say? Just want to make sure I'm clear.
Yeah, yeah. Like where does
I
he?
got you.
Where do you see him like falling in
Yeah,
that?
I think he's a quiet guy. He's soft spoken. He's a really smart guy. You can tell by that baby fro. Anyone that rocks a baby fro is intelligent. Um, I think he's gonna take his time at Mizzou personally. I think he's gonna fill it out. He's there. I think he's there to get a full not a full scholarship, to get his full degree. Believe it or not, there's those rare occasions, and I mean extremely rare, where a guy can go straight to the league. But he sits and he rides out his 3 to 4 years, whatever it takes for him to get his degree. I think he could be one of those kids. So I think
Okay.
that plays. I say that to say I think that plays a factor into where he gets drafted in SWBA. He's definitely a top five pick. I mean, he's already there in stature. He's there in skill. One of the biggest things I like about his game And I'm pretty sure I haven't talked to anyone in any organization or any team, GMs or nothing like that. But what I've liked about his game is there's no wasted motion. Like that's NBA game
Right.
right there.
Yeah.
He's getting to his spots there with a purpose. There's no wasted dribbles. There's not a lot of fancy stuff. He can give it to you. But when I compare him to Brandon Roy, I compare him to Brandon Roy for a reason. He's got the razzle dazzle if you need it. He hasn't really needed it though. He's like, hey, I can take a
Right.
couple dribbles. I'm
Yeah.
bigger, stronger, faster. I can get this shot up over you. I'm not going to waste all the energy. He's got one of those games that looks like he could play until he's like 40. There's not a lot of lift on his jumper. I'm sure he'll work on those mechanics even more, but
Yeah.
he's big, strong, and talented and intelligent, and that's pro ready to me.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I think that he is definitely a lock for the lottery picks. It does depend on, when he decides to leave Missouri. Um, I feel like he could be a one and done, but I don't think that is necessarily a foregone conclusion that he stays 1 year at Missouri and then decides to come out. Um, because a lot of talent's gonna come in to SimWorld U over the next couple of seasons, and that'll could affect Towns' chances in the lottery, depending on how well he does in that season too as well, and over the course of his career. Um, so that does come into all those things come into play, but to put a stance on it here, I don't think that he'll be a one and done at Missouri, but I do think he is a lock for the lottery, no matter when he decides to come out, because his body of overall work in college will be good enough to warrant that, even if he has a quote unquote down season with Missouri, his overall body of work in some more U will be enough to propel him to that lottery standard of things.
Yeah,
Um,
he's gonna be beyond lottery. Come on, with it. Come on, B Run, and he's going to Mizzou, so he's gonna get a chance to showcase even more. Hell, he may average 30 points a game at Mizzou.
Okay, when I think lottery, I think top five, top
Yeah,
10.
lottery's top
So
13, sir.
top 13. Okay, all right. So
Or is it 14?
okay,
Whatever it is, I don't. you get the math out there.
so top five.
Yeah, top five, top five, top five, top five,
Okay,
top five.
top
Yeah.
five. All right, top five it is. Then we locking it in. Top five. And then again, we can flip it. We can flip it back and flip it back here to similar prep, because this is where he is now, and talk about why his teams haven't won with him on the team. And for me, I think that that's the easiest question to answer, because the talent around him isn't able to. He hasn't had the talent around him to do it. I'm gonna get on my soapbox here for a minute, because I'm tired of having these conversations, because I'm tired. I'm tired of it, because I need people to understand something. I don't care how good a player you are. You cannot do it by yourself. There's 10 people on a team, 12, however many, depends on your roster size, whatever. But 5 guys on the court, all y'all need to do it. LeBron could not do it by himself. For all the people that want to give him flack about how he should have won 25 championships, and man, he can't do it himself. Jafet Towns, same case here. He can't do it himself. He needs talent around him to do it. And unfortunately for him, his teams haven't had the talent around him to help him win. That goes for any good player. So that's why. It's so simple.
I'll take a different stance. Number one, Kobe Bryant did win a championship by himself. I don't think anybody else was on the court with him at all. Go back and look at the roster. I think he played 1-on-5 every night. He had some people hit some timely shots. Let me stop. Other than
Give me
that,
round 20.
yeah, that's immediate. As you were talking, that came to my mind. Oh my God, Smush Parker, Chris Mims, Slava Medvedenko, Sasha Vujacic. Who the hell are those guys? Who the hell was on that team? Anyhow, jeez, I mean, they were all in the same squad. All right, so Jafet Towns, I think he has some talent around him. I just don't think Coach Ambar is really tapped into what they have and is utilizing them right. Jason Crosser, for all the flack that I give this kid, that I've given this kid over the seasons about him not producing at the level that I think he should be, and I think that's what we all say. Anytime we see someone
Yeah.
7'2", you can see him at the grocery store bagging groceries. You're like, why aren't you playing basketball? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
There's an expectation that comes with height, and it can't be. It's just is what it is. So I expect more from him, but he has a
Mhm.
solid skill set and put in the right position. Like that's why some people are coaching in the college level, and why some people are coaching at the pros. Somebody get him in the
Yeah.
right position where he gets to shoot spot up threes, where he's got a foot advantage over everybody. He's probably going to kill. He's probably going to kill out there. Travion Sherwood is a baller. Brandon Crawford is a hooper. Jimmy King is a straight up look. Get my Stephen A. Straight up baller. He's a straight up baller, right? He can hoop, and Ethan Alexander is on his way. I think he has talent around him. I think there's a misuse of what's going on out there in the Emerald City, putting kids in the right position. But you know what the great players do? It doesn't really matter what the position is. I'm going to go get mine. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get these numbers up, and I'm going to at least have us competing. We may not get over the hump every time, but I make us competitive, and that's what Jafet Towns has done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, talent. Like I said, Towns is very talented, and I think there is some truth to that. You also have his teammates around him. You know how they're talented, but they haven't put it together. If they can put it together, that would definitely help him overall. Because we talk about great players all the time and how they haven't won championships in any sport, and it's for various reasons. And this is always a conversation to have depending on the sport. Obviously, it's different depending on the sport. If it's a solo sport like golf or tennis, different. But even then, you have help. You don't have a coach or whatever. But
Yeah, I
you,
mean,
you get what I mean.
I mean, SimWorld Prep Race to One Championship matters. In the grand scheme of things, that's what
Right.
we talk about here on SimWorld today. We focus a lot on SimWorld Prep, but we're going to start talking about a lot of other things here so y'all can be ready for it. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, everybody's a big fish in a little pond at their high school. Then they go play for the league in the AAU league or whatever, and it shrunk down a little bit. You're not as good as you thought you were, and everybody's won a championship there. Then you come to SimWorld Prep, and everybody's won a championship in their area, but now you're on
Yeah.
the team with other guys, so you shrink it down a little bit more. Then you get to college, and everybody's like, "Yeah, I won a champion. We all were the MVP in our area. Yeah, okay, great.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right." Then you get to the pros, and no one even gives a damn. No one knows. You don't you dare bring up what you did in high school, don't you? But no one cares. But how good of a player are you? How checked in are you with this team? Are you communicating, locked in? How is everything? Are you a good player and a good representative for the team in the league? That's what matters.
Yeah, yeah, and Towns coming off player of the week award too. After his huge week, 39 and 43 points. Uh, kid's so talented. Man. He's so talented.
Can't wait to see what he
We can
does
talk
this upcoming week.
exactly. Like we can talk about him all day, but let's move on, shall we? We have an exciting week of games ahead. But something that's loomed large over the course of the weekend and last couple of days here is travel. People going around the world. It's about prep. Teams are traveling all across the country, all across the world to play games. Similar to Atlantis was in those kind of talks while playing, against Gulf Coast, and they had to come back home to play, and then Lone Star as well. So they had a few games they had to go play SimWorld South America, and then they had to play another game in that same week, or in the days afterwards. They have a lot of time for rest and back to backs and all that stuff. And there's talk of is it fair? And just how these teams and players are adjusting to the travel and the rigorous schedule that comes with summer prep, because we have to keep in mind, remember that these are 15 to 17-year-old kids, and they're still kids, and they're still trying to go to school, manage all that other stuff too, alongside these things. It's not like you're in high school and you're going across town to play a team and come back the same day or whatever it is. Totally different experience here.
Yeah. I think SimWorld Prep may have some things to look at there. On the other side of that, though, Yales is a tough love kind of guy. My son came to me the other day. He had his first game, his first organized basketball game. He's 9 years old. Never played organized ball. He's about the size of a 6-year-old. By the way, he dropped 4 points on them boys, had 5 steals, 3 blocks, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. He
Okay.
was hooping. I mean,
All
he was
right.
balling. Oh yeah, had to
That
get
G
that out there.
that's
Shout
great.
out to
That's great.
Go. Shout out. All right. Yeah, he got out there. He finished his game up. I gave him his kudos for what he did well, and I told him about what he did not do. And he said, "Daddy, but I'm only 9." He's like, "I'm not an adult yet," and I tell him like, "This is not." Well, how do you learn? The greats learned how to do what the greats had to do at that time. And that's how you become great. You become great by performing above what everyone. Extraordinary is not ordinary; it's extra. It is a step above. So for me, this is good preparation for them. Is it tough? Yeah. Is it hard while they got school and they have other things going on? I'm sure it is. I'm not doing it. I
Sure.
know it is. It has to be. But if they want to go, is everybody in the NBA in the SWBA? Is everyone going on to star for a SimWorld U school? No. So this is how you get it done. This is how you get an edge. You got to be better than the rest. My mom's always taught me that. That's what I've always believed. You got to outperform other people. If you want the accolades that come with being above something, then you have to perform above it. To perform above it, you have to practice above it. So this is preparation.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I do think, the league will have to do some looking things, and that's one thing too about summer prep is that, the 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 big guys at the top are always looking to improve, and they'll figure out how to work the schedule to where these things are maybe less of an issue going forward for next season, maybe, and
Yeah.
going forward, all that stuff. So that won't be an issue. But
The
when it
international
comes,
part I think is big just because
yeah,
simply that's not in the SWBA. That's an element that adds exposure for these kids, but at the same time that's a whole nother level of travel. But guess what? They're also getting to travel the world. I don't know how
right.
many people here on this set have been all across the globe. Some of the places these kids
There's
have been already.
Yeah, there's so much that these kids are getting to experience in the world. Going to see other countries. Weekly, daily, whatever it is. They're traveling all over. It's crazy. Um, but I think that it's one of those things where you know it's come with territory, unfortunately, and you have to adjust to it. And your Cascadia is one of those teams that coming into the week, they have a back to back this week as well. They're playing against Bad Boys on Tuesday, and then Wednesday they continue their road trip going to play Beast of the East, and they're undefeated right now. So all talk of travel, and could this team be affected by that travel? Absolutely. Now that isn't as long of a trip, um, but it's still long on a back to back. So keep that in mind too. It's not like they get a day,
Yeah,
a travel day.
yeah.
So that's totally different.
Well, it
But
is what
we'll
it
see
is.
how that affects them as they have to keep the undefeated streak going this week as well. So hey, who knows? Who knows, man? But look, final topic of the day. We got some teams that have not started out so great. And a lot of those teams are a lot of those few teams come to mind. Gotham Five, the North, Run DMV, Yacht Club, H Town, Queen City, Best Coast, Radiant Trace, Beyond the Arch, and then in the intercontinental region, there's North Africa, Middle East, and Latin America. Some of these teams we didn't expect to start off this way. For me, North Africa is one of them. We talked about Queen City a lot. The Yacht Club is another one for me too. I didn't expect them to be 3-4. Now, um, Radiant Trace, I thought they'd be a little bit better. Maybe not 3-5, maybe a little bit better. But any of these teams surprise you that started off this bad besides Queen City? Because I know we've kind of harped on them the past couple of days
Yeah, y'all
on the
gotta
show.
look. I never said Queen City. All this media, even Coach Skinny, I'll say that to you directly, Skinny. I never thought your team was going to be great. I thought you had some good pieces, but I thought that there was a odd pairing. The
Well,
shooting
I'll
was
say it.
missing.
I thought y'all would have been better. I thought it. All right.
So on the other end of the spectrum, to answer your question though, there are two teams that I thought would be significantly better that other people probably did not think would be as good, and they're sitting
Mhm.
right where everyone else expected. I expected Gotham Five to be a lot better. There is a awful lot of talent on that team, and we're not seeing it. I talk about it every chance we get. They have kids that can go create their own shot, and I think when they get to SimWorld U, people are really going to see just how skilled some of those kids are because they are. These guys are bucket getters on that end. If there was a
Mhm.
scheme, I know they have a new coach in Jeff Michaels. What is he, 2, 3 games in? And they've looked a lot better, to be honest. Excuse me. They've looked a lot better.
Yep.
But I think that they would have been playing. I expected them to play even better than they have. The other one is the AT Aliens. Everybody, we made the jokes about Royce Anderson scoring 40 points a game, and all those jokes aside, AT
Yep.
Aliens, they're only sitting at 500. That's not too bad. They competed defensively. They get after it. And Royce Anderson is looking pretty good. But if they're sitting at 5-5 and Royce Anderson's only playing 24 minutes a game and averaging 15 points, imagine if he played more minutes in the game and how those extra points that he would put up would have went on the board, and this team would have a better record. So I expected more from AT Aliens, to be totally honest. I expected them to have more in the win column, and after watching them play, I definitely expected them to have a better record than what they have. So those two stood out, and then Rain and Trays for me, I did expect them to be in a better spot than they are, but they're not. I really don't have a whole lot to say about them. We've already talked so far. I'm looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
what they do. This is the week where teams have to step up, or they are what they are at this point. Queen City,
Yeah.
I would expect them to be a little bit better, but I did not expect them to be great at all.
And getting into that, they are sort of thing, because this comes down to the race to one. Everyone makes it this season. And we had to talk about the difference from last season to this season. A team like Queen City right now wouldn't be in the race to one. But this season they'll get a chance to compete. Every team's going to. Do we think that this is a good or a bad thing for the teams and the league overall as a whole in terms of competition, that kind of stuff? And then, does that really matter when it comes to putting stock into these games if it's, for seeding and development?
Why does everybody seeding matters? Like I don't understand why
I
for me
agree.
personally, I don't
I
understand
agree.
why the conversation is these games don't matter or everyone. Okay, great. You got something to play hard for. So guess what? If the games didn't matter, you knew your team was trash. You can go watch the SWBA right now. There's lots of players that do not play their hardest. Granted, it's pros, and a lot of them aren't. Anyway, but they're not playing their absolute hardest because they feel the game doesn't matter anyway, and everyone doesn't make it, and they think that their team is not going to do well. They don't believe that they can make it in the first place. In this scenario, all these teams know that they will make it, so I would say for some people, they're playing harder than they were just to try and get that seeding because seeding matters. But on the other end of the spectrum, and I'm a dual purpose kind of guy.
Yeah,
Sometimes you're just playing a game of matchups. I don't think anyone's out here intentionally losing at all.
of course not.
But
No.
sometimes the matchups do matter. I'll take the Southern region for example right now, which is an incredibly tough region right now. Queen City sitting at the bottom right now, number 8. Gulf Coast sitting at number 1. To me, that's not a bad matchup for Queen City. If there was anybody in the southern region that they would want to play if the race to one started today, in my opinion, it's Gulf Coast or maybe H-Town. Some of these other teams that can shoot from the perimeter are going to give them hell. So seeding matters. Everyone making it.
I
I
agree.
like the format. Maybe the league will decide to change it. Who knows? But this isn't the pros. It's yeah.
Yeah,
I think it
exactly.
was
No,
set up as a March Madness kind of format be run. So even March Madness, that's 60 whatever 8 teams that make it. It's not everyone, but it's a
64.
lot.
Yeah.
60. I think they
Yeah.
have like a bonus play in or something like that.
Yeah, 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 right, yeah.
But yeah, it's only 32 teams. It's giving everybody a shot to make it in. So I like it. Somebody can get on a run. There could be Cinderella stuff down the road. The games matter. Every game
That's
matters.
Yeah, real quick. That's why I like it too. giving everybody a chance to, see what you can do in that high intensity, high energy format. You can't tell me it wouldn't be fun to see somewhere Middle East or somewhere Latin America go on a run, looking at their teams right now. You can't tell it wouldn't be fun to see those teams, get together and kick it in a high gear for the race to one. So that would be fun to see, and I think it separates the levels too from high school prep to college to pro. Yeah, there has to be, in my opinion, some kind of differentiation. That isn't a word I was
I
looking
like how
for today.
slow you said that. That was
Uh,
fun.
I make sure I said it right. Yeah, that has some sort of difference between the leagues, and this is one of those ways that they decided to do it. Will it stick? Don't know. But again, that's one of those things where everybody's looking to improve, and they'll figure it out. But that's going to do it for today's show. Anything else you got today, else? We get out of here.
No.
No.
Merch
All
coming
right.
soon is what I'm hearing from SimWorld. That's the
Yeah.
that's the news. That's pretty good stuff. So y'all stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Make sure y'all are
Absolutely.
staying active. And I heard the power rankings dropped. Go take a look at those things.
Yeah, go take a look at them. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We'll talk about them tomorrow. I got y'all. I got y'all. Anyway, y'all have a good one. And remember, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. We'll see you tomorrow.